John Rettinger with John4Lakers.com here with a review for you of the Samsung Eternity for AT&T Wireless. So you guys have seen me unbox it, you've seen me walk you through the keyboard and the browser on it. So let me just tell you a little bit about the phone itself. It's a 3G capable phone with an HTML browser and a full on-screen keyboard. It doesn't have any real physical keyboard buttons, but it does have 3 navigation keys on the bottom. I walked you guys through all that during the hardware overview. So first off, this is a phone, and I always preface my phone reviews with this. It's got to sound good. Call quality was actually very strong. It sounded very clear on my end, although the 3 or 4 people I tested the phone with did report the same white noise on their end. So it may vary by location, but at least be aware of that. But call quality for the user of the phone was absolutely fantastic. So I actually used this phone for a good few weeks, and I have to say I became increasingly impressed with it the more I used it. The haptic feedback is probably the best implementation of haptic feedback, personally, I've ever used. The vibration isn't annoying, it doesn't seem out of place, it's not overwhelming, it's very nice and subtle and really is a very good touch. The on-screen keyboard, I'm very vocal that I don't like on-screen keyboards, even though the iPhone is my primary phone and I've grown to get used to its keyboard. I much prefer a hard tactile keyboard. The Samsung Eternity actually has one of the best on-screen keyboards that I've ever used. It really is very, very intuitive and really easy to get used to and type on. It has an accelerometer built in, as you guys saw in other videos, so when you turn it, the keyboard does rotate to full landscape. And it just becomes very easy to type on. I did a typing test, and you guys can see, so I'm not going to go too much into detail on that, but just know if you're a heavy texter, you will not be disappointed with the Samsung Eternity. One of the other features is that really surprised me about the phone, and not many phones have this outside of the iPhone, as a proximity sensor actually built in. So one of the problems with touchscreens is when you put them up to your head, your ear can hit stuff and you end up talking to your mom and end up calling your ex-girlfriend. And that's never a good thing, generally. So what this does, as soon as you put it up to your head, it actually turns off the screen, and when you pull it away, it turns it back on again. A very nice convenience feature, and something else that was very impressive about the Samsung Eternity. Another very cool thing that it does. So the call quality, again, like I said, was loud enough. And the TV on here was very cool. It's an added package that you have to pay for, but it does make the phone have an extra little bit of a wow factor. I haven't seen TV implemented very successfully in many phones, but AT&T and Samsung really got on the ball here. The TV is clear, it's crisp, the sound is loud, and it really is just fun to watch TV on your phone. I mean, I don't know how often I would do it if I owned this phone and I used it as my primary device, but it is kind of nice to have on the go. You can watch Comedy Central, they have movies, they have CNN. Some of it's live content that you can see on your normal television. Some of it is canned and it starts when you play it. But it is just a really very neat feature. For a non-smartphone, I was actually very impressed with the browser. It was full HTML capable, and it did render pages the way they're meant to be seen like you'd see on a computer. None of this mobile web BS that I am not a fan of. So if web browsing is important to you, this phone will suffice. It doesn't have the best web browser in the world, but it is good enough for a phone of this caliber. It does play YouTube videos, which is actually very cool. If you go to YouTube and you click on a video, it'll launch its own YouTube player, and it will play the video over AT&T's 3G signal. Video quality was pretty nice. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was good enough to watch, and the external speakers were loud enough to hear what you were saying. So that's all the things this phone does well. What it doesn't do so well is email, and it doesn't really advertise itself as an email device. It just has a Java applet for email, which is quite unfortunate. So if email is important to you, I look at more of a smartphone as opposed to a feature phone like the Samsung Eternity. It was weak, characters weren't always rendering properly, scrolling through emails was a pain, and things just weren't always coming in a prompt fashion. Something to keep in mind. It does come with a built-in IM client, so you can use all your IMs that you're used to, your AIM, MSN, Yahoo, and things like that. It has a music player, which is just like any other music player on any other phone. It works, it plays music. So guys, overall, if you're looking for a feature phone that can handle some email, that can view the web, has a good keyboard for texting, and you want to watch TV, I can wholeheartedly recommend the Samsung Eternity to you. If you're looking for an email-centric device, looking for in the market for a BlackBerry, an iPhone, a Windows mobile device, the Eternity is not for you, but I don't think that's who Samsung is marketing this to. So if you match the aforementioned category of looking for just a phone that can do a few cool things, Samsung Eternity is an excellent device. On a 5-star scale, I give it a really solid 4. If it could just handle email well and had maybe a little bit of a better browser, this phone would be an absolute knockout. Highly recommended. It's for sale on AT&T. Prices can vary by time and day, so go ahead and check AT&T's websites if you're interested. Anyway, guys, this is John Rettinger with John4Lakers.com with a review for you of the Samsung Eternity. If you want some exclusive content, be sure to follow me on Twitter at www.twitter.com/John4Lakers. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.